I love Star Trek. Picard Season 3's The Next Generation reunion, but I felt guilty about it when Star Trek. Picard Season 3 finally gave us the long-promised Next Generation reunion. It was everything I thought I wanted. The sight of Patrick Stewart stepping back onto the bridge of the Enterprise D with Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Brent Spiner, and Gates McFadden felt like stepping into a time machine. I was transported back to the 1990s, sitting cross-legged in front of a bulky TV, watching the crew of the Enterprise face the unknown together. The nostalgia was overwhelming. The banter between Riker and Worf, the quiet compassion of Troy, the gravitas of Picard, it was all there, polished and sharpened by decades of storytelling maturity. Season 3 delivered what Seasons 1 and 2 of Picard couldn't, a story that didn't just feature legacy characters but honored them. I loved it. I really did. And yet, as the credits rolled on the final episode, a pang of guilt crept in. Because the very thing that made me cheer, the reunion, the return to the familiar, was also a reminder of Star Trek's struggle to boldly go somewhere new. The joy of the reunion. It's impossible to deny the thrill of seeing the TNG crew back together. The showrunners knew exactly what they were doing when they reconstructed the bridge of the Enterprise D with painstaking detail. The lights, the carpet, the beige and pastel color scheme, it was like a warm blanket for fans. Each character got a moment to shine. Worf's stoic humor, I am enjoying the quiet, gave us a new flavor of his warrior poet persona. Geordi LaForge's shift from chief engineer to father trying to protect his daughters made him feel more human than ever. Beverly Crusher finally got a storyline that didn't reduce her to the ship's doctor or a background love interest. Even Data, whose death had already been revisited multiple times, was given a send-off that felt satisfying. For fans who had waited decades, it was a gift. Season 3 succeeded because it understood something fundamental. The Next Generation cast still had magic, and fans still craved closure. Why I felt guilty. So why did that joy carry guilt? Because Star Trek has always been about pushing forward. The franchise's DNA is rooted in progress, hope, and evolution. When the original series ended, The Next Generation didn't cling to Kirk and Spock. It reinvented Star Trek for a new era. Deep Space Nine did the same, subverting the episodic formula to tell serialized stories about politics, war, and morality. Voyager dared to strand a crew on the far side of the galaxy. Enterprise, despite its flaws, explored the messy early years of Starfleet. But Picard Season 3 didn't boldly go anywhere new. It turned back. It resurrected the Enterprise D, brought back the Borg, and tied everything to characters we already knew. It worked, yes, but it was also safe. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was rewarding nostalgia more than innovation. I loved watching the old crew again, but was I also sending a message to Paramount? Forget new stories. Just give us what we already love? The shadow of missed opportunities. Part of my guilt came from what was lost along the way. Seasons 1 and 2 of Picard weren't perfect, but they tried. They introduced new characters like Raffi, Elner, Soji, and Captain Rios. They attempted to explore fresh corners of the Star Trek universe, synthetic rights, time travel, and the lingering scars of Picard's past. By the time Season 3 rolled around, most of those characters were sidelined or written out entirely. Rios was gone. Elner vanished without a goodbye. Soji had little presence. It was as if the first 2 seasons hadn't happened. The show traded in the new for the comfort of the old. And I ate it up. That's where the guilt came in. I didn't want to admit that part of me was relieved when the new crew disappeared because I didn't feel the same spark with them. I wanted Geordi, Data, Troy, and Worf. But wasn't Star Trek supposed to teach me to embrace change, not run from it? What the reunion really meant. Maybe the truth is that Picard Season 3 wasn't about boldly going forward. It was about saying goodbye. It wasn't designed to launch a new era of Star Trek, but to close a chapter properly. If I view it that way, the nostalgia doesn't feel like regression. It feels like closure. The TNG crew deserved a better send-off than Nemesis ever gave them. Season 3 offered that. It gave us the laughs, the tears, and the triumphant shot of the Enterprise D soaring into battle one last time. It wasn't innovation. It was a farewell tour. And maybe that's okay. But now, the question is, what comes next? Moving forward without guilt. Star Trek can't live in the past forever. I hope future shows build on the foundation of what Picard Season 3 accomplished emotionally, but without clinging to it. If we get legacy, The rumored spinoff with Captain 7 of 9, Raffi, and the next,